Love the fact there's three Magnuses. The dual wielding one is basically a longer reloading version of the normal Magnus that's a mastery rank 10, meaning the Magnus Prime, another mastery rank 14, the Strun is exactly the same, has a lot of promise to it. But at the same time, not so much, because the normal Magnus, 22% crit chance, does have a slow reload. This does reload quicker, but all the damage across all of these is exactly the same. This thing is exactly the same. It just has more crit, more status, quicker reload. That's pretty much all that's special about this thing. If you go to the codex and just search the word Magnus, you can see where these come from, with the Prime Blueprint being the common drop, the, where are you, barrel being the rare, meaning that the uncommon is the receiver. We can't overlook the fact that yes, this may be fairly low-ish. This exists, and that means that they will one day do a dual-wielding version of this, so it makes sense to only have 3 relics and three parts, because you're going to have to build 2 of these at one point to get a hold of the dual-wielding one, that if I had to put money and guesses on it, Barrow will be bringing. And there it is. If we actually hover over it, it says hits have a chance to maximize ammo efficiency for a few seconds, meaning the more you hit people and the more accurate you are, the more the ammo lasts, meaning you have to reload less. That is great. I thought there would have to be some weird kind of twist to this. There's only 1v though. Ooh, why would there only be 1v? That's alarming. You know what isn't as much alarming? Why is primed fulmination here? That's got me very intrigued actually, because if that's on here and it increases the blast radius, what is this thing shooting? Honestly, this, how's it worded? Hits have a chance to maximize ammo efficiency for a few seconds? Yeah, okay, whatever. It's good, but it could have been slightly better. As it is, there's not really much wrong with it. It is exactly what it is supposed to be. It is a normal Magnus with more crit multiplier. I want to say a quicker reload, but still a fairly long reload, and more status. Well, it's still a shorter reload than the standard one has. This is 1.2, the standard one's 1.4. But the damage is exactly the same. With this thing, it works exactly as it's supposed to be, and that's what made it kind of great. Yes, it has that ammo efficiency part to go in there, which, if you can land the shots properly, yeah, it kind of helps, because the magazine on these things being only 8 is kind of small, but it does have a fairly quick fire rate, so you can empty the magazine really quickly, and that's where the ammo efficiency comes into play. If you can land the shots, you get so many more rounds out of this. But just cannot get my head around one thing. The Magnus Prime is a great secondary. It is a vast improvement. I'm going to say that a lot in this, aren't I? No, I'm not. I'm not saying it again. Over the standard one. All primes are this. It would have been just a tiny little bit better if it had have had a tiny little buff to the damage as well. But that's where, and we cannot avoid this when it comes to this weapon. It is nice. I am absolutely loving it. The fact that you can throw in a bit of galvanized diffusion, primed target cracker, primed pistol gambit, 80% crit chance, 61% status because it only has the 2 status mods. That is still a nice amount of status. Could have been a little bit better, to be fair, but it works. I don't know why I have Auger packed on here. It's doing a nice amount of damage, but it basically comes down to the fact that I have a okay fire rate plus electrical plus damage Riven mod on this. Kind of, I don't want to say saved it, but until I actually put that on there, it was okay. That made it better, which in itself works just so well. Thoroughly enjoyed this. Out of all of the new Prime stuff, this I would have to say is bottom of the list. Nidus being top and the Strun being much better than this. But there is no way of getting around it, no matter how you look at this. And the biggest disappointment for all of this is that Riven won't work on what we're all now waiting for, because the Magnus Prime has come out. It's exactly what a Prime is supposed to be, because I said I'm not going to say it again. There's just... the Riven doesn't work on the dual-wielding Magnus that now the Prime is here. We all know is coming in some way or another, which means quicker fire rate, twice the magazine size, probably the same crit multiplier, status, reload and everything that the Magnus Prime has, but faster reload and double the magazine. Oh, and because you're shooting two of them, it's basically twice the damage. How will that come? We are yet to see. Hopefully this is one of those things that Barrow's going to bring that will allow us to... well, it's basically just going to be the blueprint for the dual-wielding Magnus Prime and the link on a relic. And he will bring the relic. That's what he did with the Lex, and hopefully he will do this with this sooner rather than later. Because the longer that we have to wait for the dual-wielding Magnus Prime to come out and become a thing, the more people... I don't want to say aren't going to be interested in it, but are going to be less interested in it. Because no matter how you put it, and no matter which way you want to go around it, when it comes to primes, there is something out there that on paper it's got twice the magazine, it has way more multi-shot, because obviously it's... multi-shot works on it, first off. It has more status per projectile. Oh, and something like 3 times the damage nearly. Oh, and 3 successful kills with it will make a second one spawn in your hand, meaning it is already a dual-wielding version of itself. And when the Pyrana Prime came out, I was saying then it kind of looked like a Magnus. It wasn't, which is great because the Pyrana Prime has got to be one of the best Prime secondaries that there is. A lot of people will turn around and argue that point, but the fact that after 3 successful kills, oh yes, you summon a second, what's it called? Ethereal Pyrana, and you do twice the damage. This thing gets better with the damage that you the more you kill, the more you can kill. The Magnus will be that way once the dual-wielding version of it comes out. That I am looking forward to more than the standard one. There's nothing wrong with the standard one. The dual-wielding version will just be the perfected form of the secondary. Hopefully, as I said before, this will come sooner rather than later, because the longer that it waits, the more people will go back to using the Pyrana, which, well, just does 3 times the damage. Oh, and then you can summon a second one, so that's nearly 6 times the damage that this thing can do. There's a reason the Pyrana Prime sits top of the list, at least for me anyway. And with that, I think we'll leave this off here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.